say who's sponsoring this Woody Allen special, but I'm not giving up, because I know I'm close.
Justice done. Private Eye, 071-16-1756.
For 17 hours, you've told us nothing but your social security number. For the last time, what makes Libby's buttered vegetables taste so good? Oh? All right. Give him the regular canned vegetables.
No! No, not the regular canned vegetables. Give me 50 lashes. Make me watch old Tony Randall movies, but don't make me eat regular canned vegetables. All right, I'll tell you.
The secret is, Libby selects the finest vegetables grown. And then, 2 pats of butter in every can.
You mean instead of cooking the vegetables in water, Libby's
cooks them in butter?
Why didn't we think of that?
We just did.
I'm sorry, Libby's.
It's funny, since the last time I was on television, a great many things have happened. I thought I would take just a couple of minutes up front here to talk about some of them with you. Now, I did a play, I don't know how many know that, called Play It Again, Sam. It's running on Broadway. And it's an autobiographical play, and it's based on my sex life. It's a very short play, you know. And it's been running out for 8 months, and people have said to me, how can I stand to do the exact same thing every night, night after night? And it's funny, because I had asked that same question of Richard Burton, and I got a very dirty look at the time. And but I'm naive sexually. That's what's so weird. I talk about sex a lot, particularly on television. Sex and death, 2 subjects that interest me the most. You know, they both only come once in my lifetime. You know? At least after death, you're not nauseous. It's funny, because I'm naive sexually. Actually, when I was young, I come from Brooklyn, and everything I am today, I owe to my mother and my environment in Brooklyn. I want you to know that. I asked my mother when I was younger, how do you get babies? And she thought I said rabies. She said from a dog bite, you know? And 3 weeks later, my aunt gave birth to triplets. I thought she was attacked by a Great Dane, you know? I have no hang-ups in that area at all. No one in my family has any. My uncle is weird, I guess. So he's what you would call the opposite of an exhibitionist. You know, he backs onto subways naked and dresses himself. Funny, recently he was sold. It's a story about my uncle. An insurance policy, and he's not bright. He's strange in many ways. He was in the Air Force in World War II, and he psychoed out of the Air Force, you know, for trying to take the automatic pilot to lunch. And they sold him. Try and stay with me on this, because we can finish together. He tried to buy this insurance policy off a guy, and he bought what you would call a sucker policy, you know, and he was at the Museum of Natural History. This was just a short while ago. There was an exhibition on the evolution of man, you know, and he wanted to see precisely where Spiro Agnew fit in. And in the rotunda, there's a tremendous whale on chains. I don't know if you've ever been there or not, but it's hanging from the ceiling. And the chains broke, and the whale fell on him. Fractured his pelvis. That's a nice way of saying it, you know. And he put in for insurance because he was hurt. And he had to tell the insurance company that he was hit by a falling whale on 81st Street in Central Park West. And it turns out that's the one thing that he's covered for. He collected $3,000 insurance, I think, and he ran amok with it, you know. He fulfilled a lifelong dream. He bought himself a hearing aid, which is a console model. Now, I don't know if I have time to tell one more story, because we have a good show tonight, a long show, and Candice Bergen and Billy Graham. I want to try and get this one story in, if I can, just before I recently bought a remote-controlled television set. And I'm sitting home one afternoon in my apartment. I was reading the Old Testament. I was penciling in corrections, you know. I have a tremendous ego. And I go out, and I'm thinking to myself, gee, I'd like to have my own television show because, you know, why not? I deserve it. That's the way I figured. And I walked right over to CBS, and I walked right in on them, you know, unannounced. And I said, I want my own television show. I've done a lot of big projects this year, a film and a play, you know, and I'm a very big star. They said, really, which one? And we laughed over it, you know, and the security guard tried to adjust my nose for UHF. You know? And I was depressed, and I was out walking in the street, went to the movies, saw I Am Curious Yellow, which is a dirty film. I don't know if you saw it or not. I know it's dirty because when I was there, the projectionist had the film in upside down, and nobody knew the difference, you know? And while I'm out, the phone rang in my apartment, and it turned on my remote-controlled television set, because the ring sometimes turns on the set instead of the button. And I come back to the house, and I come inside, I'm walking, you know, down the hall, and there must have been a movie on or something, because I hear a voice say, when he comes in, we'll chop him up in little pieces and put him in a trunk. So I turned a funny shade of puce, you know, immediately, and my heart started to beat, you know, and I figured there's guys in the bedroom robbing the house, and they're going to kill me. And I locked myself in the closet from the inside. And I'm standing there like this, and, you know, I'm not a coward. Meanwhile, I'm standing in the closet there, and I never keep money in the house or anything. You know, I used to, a long time ago, keep money in the cookie jar in my house. I used to keep cookies in my wallet wherever I went. The arrangement didn't work out, though. And I'm standing in the closet for, I can't tell you how long it was. The only reason that I came out was I couldn't believe that those guys were robbing my bedroom and then singing the Star-Spangled Banner. I want to start the show tonight with a little scene between an actor, a young actor, and a young actress on their first day of rehearsal in a play. And I'd like to show you a very contemporary problem in the New York theater. Excited?
Yeah, I'm always really excited the first day of rehearsal.
Yeah. But listen, I didn't get a chance to meet you in auditions. I'm Leo Lundgren.
How do you do, Leo? I'm Judy Sloan.
It's exciting, isn't it, to finally be in a play that says something for change?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is hard-hitting adult stuff. It's all right here. Violence, dope addiction, corruption, poverty, betrayal, fascism.
Yeah. It's about time somebody wrote something about the New York City school system.
I just hope that I'm mature enough to make the author's words live.
Well, you know, I think we're both very deep people. I think we're two mature people, and, you know, we've lived, we've suffered. We're working with a great director, and if I can be of any help, you know.
Thank you. I feel very lucky. It's my first great play, and I'm working with two geniuses, the director and the lighting man.
All right, kids, good Good morning. How are you? All set to go, huh? Well, we got a lot of work to do this morning, this rehearsal. Now, I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to start with the argument scene.
Oh,
because, you know, that scene, that's the real spine of this play. Now, I've decided, in order to give that scene real impact, I've decided the two of you are going to play this scene nude.
Pardon me?
Nude.
By nude, you mean...
Naked. Gives it a certain psychological impact, huh?
Yeah, it does sort of give it a kind of metaphysical quality. I'm not playing this nude. I can never play anything nude. My mother is coming opening night.
Why does it have to be nude? I mean, why can't we wear something that gives the same effect? Like clothes.
My mother hasn't seen me naked in 30 years. She'll know something's wrong.
Take this. Now, I know there's a certain amount of reticence in appearing before an audience naked. I know there's a certain amount of self-consciousness about that, so in order to make it easier for you, you're going to rehearse this scene in the nude, all right? Now, let's get the clothes off and start acting here. Let's go.
I'm not taking my clothes off. You better be kidding. I just met this girl. I don't know her. She'll see my ribs.
I'm a decent girl. My parents are Quakers.
Honey, it's only a play.
Look, the country is not ready for my body. I never go to the beach. It's milk white. Black students will riot.
Now, come on, I've got to make a phone call. You've got exactly 2 minutes to get out of your clothes and start rehearsing. Now, if you're not willing to, I'll get a couple of actors who are.
Oh, he's not fooling around, is he?
Yeah. Well, look, I guess he's right. I guess we are adults. It's a work of art. It requires that we get undressed. You know, there's nothing to be ashamed of with the human body. It's got a stomach, ribs, you know. It's got a lot of wonderful sections.
Okay, why don't you start?
No, you go first. Here's how we'll work this. You get undressed, and I'll sit right here, and then I'll get undressed. Don't feel self-conscious. Just take off all your clothes, and I'll sit right here. Go on, don't let me stop you.
Okay, I'll take off my shoe.
That's nothing.
Then you take off something.
Okay, I'll take off your dress. It's mine. Okay. I'll take my shoe off, and that'll start us.
And the sock.
A sock, too?
Yeah.
My foot will be naked.
Oh, my goodness. Is that your foot?
Will you stop looking at it like that? I feel guilty enough having this foot, much less showing it.
You mean you have another one just like it?
Yes, I have two. It's a set.
Are those webbed toes?
Yes, they are, actually.
Does it affect the way you walk at all?
Yes, but I can swim very fast. Will you stop staring at my foot? Here, take this blanket. We'll get undressed in stages, and that way it'll be much easier.
Boy, I don't know. I mean, when I was a kid, I saw shows. Peter Pan, The Sound of Music. Nobody got undressed.
I know. My parents were really strict with me when I was a kid. They never even let me turn to the African section of National Geographic.
Oh,
Are you almost naked?
I'm almost naked.
Ready?
Almost. Wait, I'm not yet.
I've got a real find here. Okay, I'm coming out.
Okay, I'm ready now. Do you think I'm fat?
I don't know if you exist.
My goodness, is that your chest?
Yes, technically it is.
Gee, I'm sorry.
Look, we can't stay here any longer. I'm going to count to 3, and we're going to drop our blankets, okay? And that way we'll be naked.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. You're definitely a female.
Well, are you dropping it or not?
I hope you have a strong stomach. You know if the Mets won today?
It's not, I don't think it's really so awkward, you know.
Oh, what the, you know, I think neither of us has anything to be ashamed of. Do you?
Well,
Gee, I'm beginning to kind of like the feeling. I
yeah?
suddenly feel like a Greek god.
You'd better pull yourself together, Venus.
Am I driving you crazy? Look, we may as well rehearse and get it over with, okay?
Okay.
What the heck? It's only a play, and...
You're right.
Now then. Here, you. If you think the world is all take and no give, Libby's has a surprise for you.
Oh, hi. You want to get in on a sure thing? Well, it's a new game called Libby's Bucko. You can't lose. They call it Bucko because everyone who plays can get a buck. $1 genuine. All you do is take the labels from your favorite Libby's canned or frozen foods. Then match them to the squares on the Bucko card. The card's free in your supermarket or in the Sunday newspaper. Now, you play just like bingo. When you get 5 labels that match any row on the card, Bucko, you get a buck. Cover all the squares, and you get this Devon electric food warmer free. Keeps food or beverages piping hot. Worth $6.95. Oh, and be sure you don't remove the labels until after you've enjoyed those great Libby foods like, well, they're...
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the fifth dimension.
Now you're here next to me, and ecstasy
I look at you and see the passion eyes of May. Oh, but am I ever gonna see my wedding day? I was on your side, Bill, when you were losing. I'd never scheme or lie, Bill. There's been no fooling. The kisses and love won't carry me till you marry me, Bill. I love you so, I always will. And in your voice I hear a choir of carousel. Oh, but am I ever gonna hear those wedding bells? I was the one who came running when you were lonely. I haven't lived one day not loving you only. The kisses and love won't carry me till you marry me, Bill. I love you so, I always will. And though devotion rules my heart, I take no vow. Oh, but Bill, you're never gonna take those wedding vows. Come on, Bill. Oh, come on, Bill. Come on and marry me, Bill. I got the wedding bell blues. Please marry me, Bill. I got the wedding bell blues. Marry me, Bill. Yeah. I got the wedding bell
The movie that I have out playing now, Take the Money and Run, had been likened by many critics to the old silent film comedies. And one of the things that I had always wanted to be was a silent screen comedian, but I came too late. And you know that now. And this evening, I wrote an original silent screen film that we're going to do for you now. Now, there's nothing wrong with your set. It's a black and white film, and we've pushed in the frame a little bit. So this is our own original version of a silent movie.
Libby's low-calorie fruits were vanishing all over town. Just last night, I rushed to aid a lady who told me somebody had taken her Libby's low-calorie pears, peaches, apricots, and fruit cocktail. As I gently helped her to her feet, I assured her she could get more. She said no. Libby's disappear fast as they hit the shelves. Strange. What would make fruits vanish, and why only Libby's? Suddenly it came to me. Of course, they taste better. It's to leave the sugar out of the syrup and get closer to the tree and flavor routine. I tried Libby's low-calorie fruit cocktail. Peaches. Pears. For the first time, there was nothing between me and the flavor of fresh fruit. What happens to people when they're robbed of Libby's low-calorie fruits?
My next guest is a very charming and provocative gentleman. Whether you agree with his point of view or not on things, he's always extremely interesting to talk to. I don't agree with him on a great many subjects. There are a few that we do agree on, but he certainly is the best in the world at what he does. And Mr. Billy Graham.
Very nice to be with you, Woody, and I'd like to say that there's some things I don't agree with you on.
I know, but it's a question of which one of us will be converted by the time. I hope I can convert you to agnosticism by the time the show is over.
Well, I've had a lot of people try, and the more they try, the firmer I get in my conviction.
Can I ask you what your favorite commandment is?
Well, right now, with a lot of teenagers, it's to honor thy father and thy mother.
Really? That's my least favorite commandment.
Well, I have 5 children and 3 grandchildren. And I believe all of them follow that commandment. I think they honor their father and their mother. Now, that doesn't mean that they always agree with their father and their mother, but to honor them, to love them, to respect them. I certainly did my parents, and if I didn't, I got it.
Did you?
I really got it.
It's funny. I'm saving up my money as I get a little successful in show business, and when I get a little bit older, I'm going to put my parents in a home.
That's very good. I hope it'll be in a home with you.
No. Are there any questions?
Mr. Graham, I read that you don't believe in premarital sex relations. Is this true?
It's not a matter of what I believe. It's what the Bible teaches. And the Bible teaches that premarital sex relations are wrong.
Yeah, that's funny. To me, that would be like, like driving a car, getting a driver's license without a learner's permit first.
Let's just see now. We have to have rules to live by. And what we're saying is we're going to play a baseball game without any rules. We're going to play a football game without any rules. We're going to live a life without any moral rules. Well, God has laid down certain rules and said if you want the best of life and you want complete happiness and fulfillment, live by these rules. And one of those rules is that thou shalt not commit immorality.
But wait a minute. But if say you're dating a girl, right?
Well, I don't intend to date anyone.
No, but I mean, let's
use you.
Okay, say I'm dating a girl, and say I'm going to marry her, right? She's begged me to marry her. This was after a while. Or, what's even more interesting, I'm forced to marry her, is what happens. And now, don't I want to get some inkling of the territory?
Well, you see, most psychologists today, and most psychiatrists, I think, would agree with the Bible, that there are very serious problems involved. God didn't say thou shalt not commit immorality before marriage in order to keep you from having a good time or having fun.
Yes, he did.
He said, he said that to protect you psychologically, to protect your body, because today venereal disease is at an all-time high in spite of all of our problems. And illegitimacy is at an all-time high in spite of all of our medical science. And all of these things, God said, I want to make you happy, I want to help you, and I've given you some rules to live by, and this is the rule.
Well, now, let me ask you a question. What if I marry the girl, then, and then, if I finally do get to investigate her carnally, and it turns out she's an absolute yo-yo?
Well, I don't think that'll happen to you. I think that's a hypothetical question.
Yeah, but it happens to guys all the time.
What was the worst sin you ever committed?
The worst sin that I ever committed? I had impure thoughts about Art Linkletter. Do you remember the worst sin you ever committed?
Every sin is the same in God's sight. I mean, there is no such thing as a worse sin.
Oh, really?
If you wanted to find out which sin was the greatest, I would choose, if I were forced to choose, I would say idolatry, breaking the first commandment, thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Really, that one bothers you the most?
No, that doesn't bother me. That bothers the scriptures. It bothers God. Because all the way God was teaching Israel, all through the Old Testament, that there was one God, only one, that we're to serve and we're to worship.
Right, and that doesn't seem to you as, say, an egomaniacal position.
On God's part?
On God's part.
Oh, no, God is perfect.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, when I look in the mirror in the morning, it's hard for me to believe that.
No, you know, in God's sight, you are beautiful. And everyone... Because God loves all of us, and he has the hairs of our head numbered. He sees the sparrow fall. He's interested in every detail of your life. He made you like you are. He made you Woody Allen, and he expects you to live up to a standard that he has made. And if you don't live up to it, then the Bible says you're falling short, and that's where you need God's help for redemption.
Question?
Woody, do you use marijuana or drugs?
Do I use drugs?
Or marijuana?
No, I'm not. I don't smoke or drink or. It's interesting because we're probably the same about this. I don't know about you. It's true. I advocate the legalization of marijuana, but I don't approve of the use of it. But do you have any vices like that?
Yes, I drink coffee. And I'm told that now that there's going to be a lot of publicity coming out that coffee is bad for you. I don't know, but that's going to be hard for me to give up. I may need your help.
That's okay.
Maybe you can give me some ideas about how to give up coffee.
Yes, if you will have faith in me, I will lead you.
Graham, have you seen any of Woody Allen's plays or movies? And what do you think of them?
No, I have not. I have only read reviews. And I would like to, though. And after meeting Woody, I think if he'll give me a free pass or a ticket, I might...
If you come to one of my movies or something, I'll go to one of your revival meetings.
Well, now that is a deal.
Yeah.
I'd like to report back to this audience on that.
It'd be an interesting thing.
Because I'll let you know my schedule, and you let me know yours, and we'll do that.
I'd love it. You could probably convert me because I'm a pushover. You know what I mean? I have no convictions in any direction, and if you make it appealing enough and you promise me some sort of wonderful afterlife with a white robe and wings, I would go for it.
Well, I don't promise you a white robe and wings, but I can promise you a very interesting, thrilling life.
Yeah, one wing, maybe?
No. You know, there's a guy in England that's the #1 pop idol right now by the name of Cliff Richards. And Cliff Richards said the other day, he said, when I accepted Christ as my Lord and Savior, he said this was 10,000 times more of a turned-on experience than any trip I ever took on LSD. So you've got something in store for you. See, you've experienced some of these other things, but you haven't experienced God yet. And that's the greatest of all experiences, and I'd hate for you to miss it.
Oh, I hate to miss it if it's there. The question
Well,
is...
it's there.
The question is it there?
You're
You know
coming
what I
to our
mean?
meeting, you said.
Yeah, I can come. I know the meeting will be there, but will God show up?
Oh, I believe he will.
Woody, do you think that you could ever make a good minister?
I'd like to answer that one.
Sure.
I think, yes, definitely.
You think I have the traits of a minister?
I think you do, because you see, some of the greatest ministers of history have been some of the greatest sinners of history. You have this terrific mind. You have this ability to communicate. God could use you.
Really? That's like getting into the army or something.
No, it'd be a great experience.
Yeah, would I have to wear one of those dark coats in
Oh,
the white
no,
color?
no.
Like a
You don't
dress like
see
this?
mine, do you?
No, no, that's right, but you dress very conservatively.
Well, that was because I was on a previous show early, and this is the way I had to dress on that particular show, and I didn't have time to change before I came over here to the studio.
Do you think that
I would like to have worn a very loud coat for this occasion.
Yeah, something casual and devil may care, if you'll excuse me.
Well, this is rather... this is... You mean something wild, like a blue coat, or something like that, rather than black?
Yes, something really crazy, like a blue coat. Thank you for coming here and doing this with me, and you're always, you know, a treat to talk to, and I hope I haven't provoked you or you know, alienated you in any way.
Oh, no, I've enjoyed it very much, and I hope that we can do a repeat sometime. We've had a marvelous audience here and some wonderful questions, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I want to say God bless you.
Well, thank you, and the best to you.
Woody.
Would you believe that corned beef hash could be an uplifting experience? Watch.
Justice, please, I can't run any further.
Hold on. My balloon is just around the bend.
Balloon?
Those counterfeiters almost had us. Good thing I parked my getaway balloon nearby. Get in, get in.
Gee, you detectives sure lead an exciting life.
Ken, it's getting more exciting by the minute.
Shot our balloon. We're sinking.
Quick, throw out everything that's expendable. Everything must go. Goodbye, childhood. Stop! I said everything expendable. That's my Libby's corned beef hash.
What?
Have you no sense of value? Libby's hash is so meaty and it browns so well in the frying pan.
But Justice, something has to go.
I think you're absolutely right.
Justice, kiss me.
And now we'd like to take this next section of the show and show you an original folk tale.
Once upon a time in Brooklyn, there was a simple, hard-working baker named Sam Wolf, who was basically a happy man.
I'm 59 years old, and I've only had 4 heart attacks.
There were 2 misfortunes in Sam's life. The first occurred many years ago, when his wife left him for a successful dentist.
I had my blessings, and they should both drop dead.
The second misfortune in Sam's life was his daughter, Sandra.
She's a beautiful girl, healthy, sweet disposition, but stupid.
It's not that Sandra lacked potential. It's just that with no one to guide her, she lacked the social graces.
You feel the same way I do about Beethoven and Mozart?
Oh, are those the guys that make those sweatshirts?
You see what I mean?
Sandra was not unmindful of her own problem.
Daddy, why is it that whenever I say anything, people laugh at me? Am I stupid?
Of course you're stupid, my darling. But stupidity is no more a sin than being short.
You mean I'm short, too?
Look how she misses the point.
Look how who misses a point.
Desperately in need of a learned opinion, Sam turned to the one mind he respected above all others in the community.
My best customer had the same problem with his daughter. Body like a succulent plum. But up here, oh boy, sponge cake. He took her on my advice to this man who worked with her. Tutored her day and night in a special way.
Did it help?
Help. 6 months later, this girl, who never had a penny to her name, was hit by a truck.
So Sam took his daughter to the home of a tutor, where they both waited to meet this man who was destined to change her life.
I hope this genius doesn't take too long. Durwood Kirby's going to make a surprise appearance on the dating game tonight.
Put those thoughts from your mind. You're about to meet a man of great intellect. Listen to him as you would the king of knowledge. Each word from his mouth reflects the wisdom of the centuries.
There's no question about it. The girl has a body that won't quit.
This is my daughter.
I am reminded of the man whose wife, being childless, did thrice smite his breast with an smooth stone, and having thus his breast thrice smitten, did his forehead smite, not thrice, but thrice, yea, twice.
Are you on LSD?
Can you help her?
Can I help her?
I can help her, and also I can be of no help whatsoever.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure.
You've got to help me. I want to be one of those smart, cultured people who always has the right thing to say. I'm tired of going into museums just to use the bathroom.
Child, 3 months under my tutoring, and you will be one of the country's leading pseudo-intellectuals.
Can I really believe you?
Can she really believe me? Her father comes to me. He begs me to take her for a pupil, and the first question is, can she really believe me?
Would you tell him I didn't mean to insult him?
The first question. Of the following 4 names, which does not belong? Joan Baez, Federico Fellini, Andy Warhol, or Bert Parks?
The second one, Fellini.
Why?
Because it's a food.
Second question. Complete the following sentence. My analyst tells me I am unable to have a meaningful relationship because I am hung up on...
Because I hung up the telephone. No, what are you hung up on? A nail. No. Correct. Because I'm hung up on a correct.
No, I'll give you a hint. M is for the million things she gave me.
Bert Parks.
No. The third question. Lenny Bruce was A, a comedian, B, a food, C, a device for measuring rainfall.
No, I can't do it. It's too hard.
There, my child. Would it be that I am like unto Hezekiah, the prophet of Lebanon, who in his 200th year did come to covet and made 180 years his younger, and did take her into the wilderness and consort with her in such a manner that he was put upon by the Lebanese vice squad?
For the next 3 weeks, the ancient scholar instructed his pupil in the age-old technique by which men distinguish that which is hip from that which is square.
Now then, I'm the waiter. Try it again.
I'll have the escargot provençal, heart of artichoke salad with a touch of Peruvian lime, sautéed Dover sole almondine, and asparagus hollandaise.
And for dessert?
I'll have the rack of lamb, lobster... Okay, I'm ready.
All right. Who is it?
Django, modern jazz quartet.
And on vibes?
Terry Gibbs.
No, Milt Jackson. One of them is Negro, one of them is white. Can't you tell the difference yet?
I could if I saw them.
Look what I'm dealing with. In 3 hours, I'll be unveiling you to the group of New York intellectuals.
Yes, the annual Norman Mailer cocktail party and fist fight. Now remember, you said I didn't have to do it alone.
Don't worry. You won't notice me, but I'll be there.
You promise?
Are you kidding? Would Norman make a party without me?
Listen, I'm not against capital punishment, as long as it's done in good taste.
Elvira Madigan was a beautiful movie to look at, but it was visually disappointing.
Did I hear you mention the brothers Karamazov?
Why, yes. I've often said that if Dostoevsky had been a singer, he'd have sounded like Ray Charles.
Excuse me, miss, but this melody's been going through my mind, and I can't seem to place it. I wonder if you could help me.
Dolphin Street, Oscar Peterson Trio with Herb Ellis and Ray Brown. Say, don't I know you from someplace?
Like where?
Well, it was either the Museum of Modern Art or the Electric Circus. Wait a minute, do you slice herring at Shapiro's Delicatessen?
You're a very beautiful girl, but you seem sad.
Yes. It's a long story. I'm in love with a wonderful man, but it can never work out because of the age difference. You see, I'm 25 and he's 94. And I don't think he's ready to settle down yet.
And it is written that she will come to the well, and her tongue will cleave to the roof of her palate. And when she speaketh, she will speak weird.
It's you. You're not old.
That's right, I'm Dr. David Meredith, the psychoanalyst. And for the last few months, you've been in a new form of psychotherapy that combines the teachings of modern science with the wisdom of the Old Testament. Modern science with the wisdom of the Old Testament. From this day on, you'll be a sophisticated, intelligent woman capable of making any man fall in love with you. Unless, of course, he's an Arab.
Tonight, I think I must be the luckiest woman in the world.
And so it came to pass that two people of different worlds got married and lived together in mutual harmony and respect until the divorce.
Some little girls aren't sugar and spice. They're butter and vegetables. Watch.
The name's Dunn. Justice Dunn, private eye. A friend of mine had talked me into playing hooky for the afternoon. We were just getting settled when...
Got you covered, private eye. Throw down your gun.
I forgot to bring it. Ha ha!
You what? Here, quick, throw these at them.
My 6 packs of Libby's peach, pear, and apricot nectars? Are you mad? I'm afraid that shoots this picnic.
What was that?
Libby's orange juice. Boy, it's got a kick.
Hey, here's Libby's tomato juice, easy open. And with these small cans, you get a fresh serving every time. Keep shooting, Lefty. Maybe you'll throw us some more.
Mr. Dunn, we're almost out.
Not to worry. Hello. Send a dozen 6 packs of Libby's juices. And in the woods. Well, there are a lot of trees around here. Pine, mostly, I think. Yeah.
That was a great show, and it wasn't so commercial like a lot of them. I like a sponsor with a little restraint.
Thank you very much. That was our show. And I wanted to just take a second to thank Candice Bergen and the Fifth Dimension and the Reverend Billy Graham. And thank you.
Featured in tonight's cast were Joe Silver, Barney Martin, Sam Smith, and John Dutra. Portions of this recorded program were previously recorded.